Thank you for joining me today. I wanted to go over a few things about QuickBooks Enterprise for nonprofits to be able to show you some of the key features of how you as a nonprofit can be able to utilize QuickBooks to its full advantage. So there's two major things I want to spend time on in this video. One is using the class feature. You will find the class feature by going up to list, going down about halfway here to where it says class list. And what this list does is it outlines each of the classes that your nonprofit has. So normally what I will do is set up each of my programs as a class, and then I'll have an admin class for those things that are, behind the scenes that make the organization run. That way, with every transaction you do, you're going to pick a class that it goes to. So for example, if I go up and I'm going to enter a sales receipt. When I do that, I'll show you an example of one previously. You will pick your customer job, and this is the second point I want to highlight. In QuickBooks, customer job is just different wording for your donor and your grant. So it could be Laurel Lee is just an individual being able to, donate money to this organization. As well, if it was the Laurel Lee grant, that would also be set up as a customer job. So the thing you want to remember is every transaction that relates to funding is going to have a customer job. So that customer job could be an individual, it could be a business, it could be a grant. Basically, however you are getting money into your organization. So you're going to give information here in the customer job field, as well as over here in the class field. And again, the class is a list of your programs. So that way, as you're bringing money in, and then you're spending money, you can track it based on who gave you the money and what class it needs to relate to. Now when you go to enter a bill, you're going to go to vendors, enter bills, and we'll look at just a few examples. So here's an example of a bill. Who the vendor is, information, what type of expense it is. You'll notice here, you also want to pick the customer job if it relates to a grant. Basically, if you need to do a reporting of here's how much money I've taken in and here's how much I've spent, because some grants will be reimbursable grants, others, they give you the money, but you need to report back to them how you spent that money. So that's where you'll select this expense goes to this particular grant, as well as it goes to this particular program. This enables us to be able to pull reports. How much did we spend related to a particular grant? And that could be how much we brought in, as well as how much we spent, as well as for a particular program, how much have I brought in and how much have I spent. When you look at your reports, the ones I really enjoy using here are under your profit and loss. If you look at it by job, and you can see here's the different grants or the different entities that I need to be able to report. Here's where the money came in as I'm using it. Here's the expenses. So that way you can be able to see how much do I have left of that grant to spend at any time. Or if it's a reimbursable grant, here's how much I've spent that I need to be reimbursed on. The other report to see by program, you're going to go to reports, company and financial, and you're going to do profit and loss by class. And now you can see by program. How much money have you brought in versus how much money have you spent? And at the end of the day, be able to see the profitability for each of those programs. Now you might ask, well, why would I want that information? When you're setting up a program in your nonprofit, you want to be able to see, is this program able to sustain itself? Do I have enough money coming in compared to what it takes me to operate this program that it makes it worth our time? So here you can see the various programs at this point, how much money they brought in over what they have spent. So those are just a couple of tips and informational areas that I wanted to share with you today about nonprofits. And this option is available whether you use the Premier or you use the Enterprise. You can be able to use both of these in a nonprofit environment. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give us a call or send us an email. Thank you.